Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you like that little intro that I put together, just trying to do something a little bit different from outside of the old standby, and still had some old files left on my computer, so I figured I'd put them to good use. So, just doing some more cleaning on the block today for 11/13, hopefully for 11/13. Goal today is to see if this is indeed going to be a good one. I have a pretty good feeling about it, but I have a lot more cleaning to do. I need to get the rest of these water jackets scraped out, take a look at those sleeve bores down there on top of the crankcase, and really check out the counter bores up on top. So that's my goal for today, and probably just do a whole lot of mundane cleaning and chasing of threads in the process. So stay tuned. So I should probably lead off with peeling this last copper upper sleeve seal out. This one's on cylinder 3, this one stayed in. The others came off with the sleeves, but I like to peel these out, and I save them if they look like they're in good shape. They are getting harder and harder to find. Here's something else you see quite often in these old engines, these fibers here that will stick to the interior of the water jackets, to the rough cast. Sometimes this can be left over from shop rags, but in the cooling system it's most likely old packing remnants from the packing that was in the water pumps. Just something else that's kind of interesting. You can just usually find that stuff sticking here and there. Might as well clean it out while you're at it. But now we can concentrate on getting the crud out of the water jackets. This is cylinder 1, which wasn't really that bad. You can see the bottom of the water jacket even, and cylinder 2 wasn't that bad either, but we were still getting quite a bit like back in that corner there. So just basically just start scraping it out. Some it can be pretty hard if it's been there for a while. Gosh, so much of that just looks like dirt too. It doesn't even look like rust. No fancy way of doing this, at least not in this shop. Old junky screwdriver and patience. That's what it takes. Okay, so I've got number 2 pretty well cleaned out. It's looking a lot like number 1. And if you notice down that little square inlet down at the bottom, you can see where the light is coming through right there. That is kind of your feed passage for cold coolant coming into the engine. You can see the other one back here leads into cavity number 2. And then we have another one that leads to cavity number 3. And of course, you know, that one's still open, but you get into 3 and you start getting a lot more of that buildup. And then you look at where it should be to feed number 4. There is nothing. That thing is completely blocked back there. So let's see if we can open it up. There, we've got it opened up a little bit. It really is important to have these passages open at the bottoms of these water jacket cavities, because as your cold coolant enters the engine again, it is going to feed from one cavity to another through those passages down at the bottoms. And as it warms up, warm water is just like regular heat. It rises and goes higher up, so it's going to swirl around the sleeves and then basically come up through these openings in the block deck and then go into the cylinder head and then out the front and back into the radiator, where it will cool. It'll go down to the bottom of the radiator and then just come back into the engine. So if you don't have your passages open down here, you're not getting much coolant flow toward the back side of this engine at all, and it just really doesn't do anything any favors when that starts happening. You start getting just rather stagnant coolant back here. You get more heat concentrated back here, so you have some cylinders are running hotter than others. It's just not a good thing. So it's really important to run good quality antifreeze in these, even if you're not in a freezing climate. Just the corrosion inhibitors that are in that stuff are well worth the investment over using just plain water. you can kind of avoid these problems altogether if you just try and keep your cooling system clean. Okay, a little bit of a break in the action here. I'm scratching down to the bottom of cavity number 3, and I think I see like a little piece of metal down in here. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah, here it is. Not sure what that is. It's definitely metallic, but left over from the casting process, maybe like just a little corroded piece of a casting rod from the molding process. I don't know. Just another little treasure you find down in these. So I've got number 1 was pretty clean. Number 2 is pretty good. Got number 3 pretty good. Starting on number 4 right now, worst of the bunch. And that kind of leads me into the next thing I wanted to mention. In the comment section below the last video when I was doing the strip down of this block, Eric, of course, left a comment. He asked, are you going to have the block dip cleaned? Well, I don't think I'm gonna, because John, the guy I got this from, pretty much already did that. He's got a giant rotating enclosed mega parts washer that he set this thing in and gave it a pretty good cleaning. All the sludge, all the old oils out of the crankcase, and anything else that's left in here is stuff that wasn't going to come out without like manually removing it, scraping it anyway. So being that I've got all the sleeves out now and I can do such a thorough job of scraping in here, and I can even get in here like with a brush on the end of a drill, do some scratching around, I'm just going to manually clean these jackets best I can, and then I'll probably just take the pressure washer after them and just with high pressure water blast anything else that might have been loose right out of there. So no on the dip cleaning. We're not going to have a hot tank. We're not going to do anything else in the way of that, but good question. All right, let's see if we can't find some corners down here. Well, I found the bottom of number 4. I can see all the corners again, so I would say the majority of the main part of the engine is pretty good. So that brings me now down to this corner right down here. That is the lead-in passage for the bell housing and ultimately the starting engine, and that's completely blocked too. So we'll keep digging. This is another tractor that I assume the starting engine water jackets were almost completely blocked. I mean, this is the main coolant inlet for that, so wasn't looking good. Trying to open up the block drain passage on this side too. That's where the petcock would be to drain the entire engine, but I'm pretty sure you could have ran with that petcock open, or probably out altogether, and it still would have held all of its water. So there we go. I think I broke through. Yep, I can see some movement in there. That whole passage was also blocked. So I believe I pretty well have that passage to the bell housing cleared out. And as long as I'm in the neighborhood, I want to look at this threaded hole for that block drain. I think I can see some threads underneath all that rust and scale in there, so just see if we can find something. Thread this 1/4 inch pipe tap in. See if we can't clean it out. This rusty stuff can really wipe the edge off of a tap in a hurry, dull it out, but there's just no other good way to go in and clean it. Starting to tighten up a little bit right there. We'll run it out. See what we got. See lots of rust falling out. Oh yeah, we're getting a little bit better. I can see a few threads in there. Probably chase it again. Okay, chased it a second time and went in a bit deeper. We'll run this brush through it quick. Oh yeah, we got threads. Good enough. All right, now we've got the passages all opened back up and all of the big chunks of crud out. It's time to lift the block up and once again clean up my mess. Well, it's not quite as impressive as last time, but still significant. Okay, so this is all of the crud that came out of the cooling system. This is a 5-quart container. We've easily got 3 quarts right here. And if you consider what would have been in the cylinder head, bell housing, starting engine on that, that cooling system easily could have been down a full gallon on capacity just due to all of the buildup that was in there. So now that I've got all the crud that I can get out of those water jackets, I'm going to use this wire brush and go down and see if I can clean those lower sleeve bores a little bit and assess their condition as well. I put this brush on the end of a long 1/4 inch threaded rod. Really helps for long reach stuff on that drill to get down into rather inaccessible places like that. But I think to do that grinding, I'm going to take it outside, keep the dust and the mess out there. Tell you what, this is a really nice day. Quite the improvement over what it was like just 4 days ago when I was prepping to pull the sleeves out of this. I can tell you one thing, I'm not going to be too afraid about scuffing the inner walls of these water jackets either. Anything loose in there, might as well come on out. Okay, so I'm happy to report that so far I really can't find anything that worries me at all with this block. Those lower sleeve bores down there actually cleaned up really well. We'll go down in here and see if we can get a little bit better view. I know it's not perfect, but for an 80-year-old tractor, I expected to see a lot more pitting. Those surfaces are actually really, really good. They're going to require a little bit more cleaning still. Basically, it's just going to be a lot of time with some sandpaper in there, making sure to get all of the rust, any dirt, any grime, any deposits, whatever, clean off of those bores, and the 45-degree lead-in chamfers for them as well to help guide those O-rings in on the bottoms of the sleeves. And I like the counter bores at the top of the block too. Very clean. I can still see the machining marks that were left over in those. So that's also a very, very good thing. So guys, so far, I think we got a winner here with this block. And as long as I was out there and in such a good mood for a change, I did take the time to clean a lot of the other gasket surfaces with the wire wheel on the grinder. Plus, one last little detail I want to add. For those of you that really pay attention that have probably already noticed, I still have all the cam bearings in this block. And I think I may have found a new old stock set of these too. I don't know. Until those are in my hand and I know that they're what I'm looking for, these are going to stay right in place. But if I end up getting something, you guys will probably find out about that too. So, but I think we did a lot of good today. We sure did get a lot of the crud cleaned out of those water jackets, and everything in there, like I said, guys, is looking really good. I'm really optimistic about this. So thanks for watching. We're going to wrap the video up right here. I'm pretty well out of time for today, but I think next video we're going to pick right back up with checking gasket surfaces, probably chasing some threaded holes. Just, again, general block prep and reconditioning. So hope to see you guys back for that.